Did you get that?
Yeah.
Because I have so much snow down my shirt. Hi, I'm Stephanie Kubes, and this is the Willow Tree. I decided to go tiny because somebody told me I'd have to triple my income to get a regular mortgage. I'm a single mom by myself, so that just wasn't feasible. And so I was determined, and this was just an alternative route that I discovered, and it has been my dream. The Willow Tree is a 416 square foot home. It's built on a 30-foot trailer, and it has 2 full lofts, one being about 10 feet long and one being about 12 feet long. I live here in the Willow Tree with my daughter. She's 5 years old. I designed the house to really take into consideration the fact that I have a young daughter and that I have 2 cats and a dog. So I designed this house in conjunction and collaboration with Midwest Tiny Living. This is the kitchen of the Willow Tree. I designed this kitchen to be really versatile and to be able to accommodate several people hanging out in the kitchen, just because it does tend to be a place that people congregate. So starting with an apartment-sized fridge, I really did not feel the need to have anything larger than this, and it's proven to be a really, really nice size for just Elliot and I. I've got this custom drawer built underneath it. I keep a lot of my daughter's crafts under here so that she can easily access them. We've got the nice soft closed drawers. Favorite part about my kitchen is my pantry, the pull-out pantry. I can fit a lot of stuff in this pantry in a very small amount of space. And then I've just got a little cabinet door up here that I keep a lot of the dog stuff in. I really prioritize having a full U-shaped kitchen. I didn't want a tiny house to mean a tiny kitchen. And we actually do use this as an eat-in kitchen, as you can see with the stools here. So it was really important that I was able to be in the kitchen with my daughter, hanging out. She can eat here, she can do her crafts, she can do homework when that time comes. So we really just wanted to make sure there was plenty of room to grow in this kitchen. I wanted the sink right here in front of this massive bay window. The bay window is a huge focal point and part of the design. I really wanted to make sure that when you were walking into the kitchen, that this window just gives it so much depth, like the house doesn't ever end. The countertops I made myself. With donated wood that we pressed together, sanded, and then faced with this walnut trim. So it's just a fun, cool part of the build to know that I made my own countertops. We've got this custom fit-in piece. This is a store-bought piece, but we just needed a little bit something more to put in, and we thought this would be a really cool spot to put this, just because it is like my primary place for prepping food. So it's a little bit thicker, as you can see. This is my 20-inch oven. It's the perfect size for a tiny house. Some people go full-blown size appliances, which is just fine. For me, I didn't feel that that was necessary. I can cook plenty for myself and my daughter. It's all gas. I really wanted a gas stove, so I really, really enjoy that. Here we have full Lazy Susan, so plenty of storage. Drawers here. Tons of space. All these cabinets are custom made for me by Carlsgard Finnish Carpentry, based out of Hudson, Wisconsin. They do beautiful work. You can check out their website. All right, now we can step into the living room of the Willow Tree. So we have closets that are here that we'll kind of show you from the other side here. But we've got the staircase, all my storage, plenty of room for my stuff and Elliot's stuff. I have a huge couch. This is almost a 10-foot couch. I really prioritized making sure that we had plenty of seating available because I wanted to be able to lay it out on one side and my daughter be able to lay out on another, or guests just feel really comfortable. I really wanted people to come into a tiny house and be able to sit down comfortably, not feel crowded, and really understand that tiny doesn't actually really mean super tiny and cramped and uncomfortable. So I really wanted to prioritize having a really nice space to be able to leisurely hang out in the Willow Tree. And then I even made sure to cut my cushions so that I can set up this as a bench, so that if I have additional people over, we can provide plenty of seating. So you can hang out, relax, have a good time, plenty of room. So with the stairs, eventually we'll have some doors that cover these. Each door is going to be stained differently, just like my ceiling. So this is also a really great focal point of the living room too, is that you actually have this really awesome ceiling that I just couldn't make a decision. I couldn't decide. They gave me 8 stains and said pick one, and I was like not all about that. So I said let's do them all, and we gave the ceiling a really awesome autumn themed look to it because the whole house is supposed to be tree themed, nature themed, and so that's why I kind of wanted to incorporate as much nature as possible into the build. So this is my entryway, and this was actually not a part of my original plan, and it ended up working out really, really well. We realized that based on how I had my plan laid out, it was placing this door right above the wheel well, which was kind of elevating the door higher than anticipated. So I decided that that was okay, and that we were just going to build a step that I would utilize as a chest that I store all of my shoes and my daughter's shoes in. So it works out really well because all of these shoes need a place to go anyways. So it was actually a blessing. This is my cubic wood burning stove. This is the Cub model. It's really efficient. It's pretty darn small, but it's worked out really well. It gets very, very hot and really heats up the house quite nicely. The only downside is that because it's so small, it's hard to keep it going overnight. So by the time I wake up in the morning, it's definitely out. But the AC heat split unit is really awesome. It performs quite well. This is Minnesota. It gets really cold around here. We're talking negative 20 plus degrees, and it is performed well the whole season so far. So I have no complaints about that. I do highly recommend making sure you skirt in your tiny house just because that can make a significant difference as far as the temperature of your floor goes. It does get a little chilly because I'm only partially skirted in, but that's because of my own doing. So we have closets on each side of the couch. This is the utility closet. So this is where I store some random stuff. And then I've got the tanks and a water heater. This is a propane water heater. Stepping into the bathroom, I really wanted to make sure that I had a large bathroom because in my mind it's the dressing room, it's the laundry room, and it's the bathroom. And I have a young daughter, so I wanted to make sure there was plenty of room for us to both spend time in here together. So I also have this awesome miniature 4-foot authentic clawfoot tub that I picked up secondhand. Really awesome deal. I love it. It's so much fun. I've got the vanity, which I just picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. This is the Nature's Head composting toilet, really popular toilet in tiny houses. It's great because it's extremely simple to use. It's great if you really don't know what you want to do, but you know you want to go composting because it's so user-friendly and really, really efficient. I have no complaints about it whatsoever so far. Another purpose of my large bathroom is to accommodate for the fact that I do have pets. Cats and dogs don't always get along, so I wanted to make sure that my cats had a safe room that they could escape to and spend time in. So this is Jeff and Fiona, and they spend a lot of time in here. This is their little sanctuary. I've got their litter box in here. This is where I keep their food and their water, so it's great because it's easy for me to keep that away from the dog. All right, now I'll show you the upstairs of the Willow Tree. This is the master loft. This is my bedroom. This is a queen size bed. I wanted to have a large loft just because, you know, I've got pets and my daughter are constantly back and forth. So I wanted to make sure there was enough floor space to maneuver going up and down the stairs and, you know, getting ready to go across the catwalk. Elliot does bring a lot of her toys over here and plays as well. So I just wanted to make sure there was adequate floor space for that. I've got a skylight in each loft. It's probably one of my favorite features of the house. I intentionally designed to make sure it would be above my bed so that I can lay in bed at night and stargaze, which is super awesome. I also wanted to make sure I had a lot of windows to provide a lot of natural lighting and to just make it seem really open and airy in the loft space. So I don't have ladder access to Elliot's loft, the secondary loft, because she's young and I did not want her to have to navigate a ladder. We can easily incorporate one into the design at some point in the future. But for now, I wanted to make sure that it was kid-friendly and pet-friendly. The cats and the dogs love being in the loft space with us. Clyde is up in the lofts more than anywhere else in the house, and he sleeps with Elliot sometimes too. So we wanted to make sure that it was really easy for the animals to get back and forth and feel like they could be with us up here. This is Elliot's loft. I wanted to make sure that she had tons of space to hang out and play. So she's got this big open area in her room that she gets to play with all of her toys. We downsized quite a bit when it came to her toy collection to fit into this house. And as you can see, we're still kind of bursting at the seams. But either way, there's still plenty of space for her and all of her belongings. This cube shelf is great because it is able to store a lot of stuff in a small space, and I like it because it also created much more of a wall for her so that I don't have to be worried about her being too close to the edge of the loft. So it's worked out really, really well. She also has a skylight here that she absolutely loves. It provides a lot of central lighting right in the middle of her room, so it's really great. Another important part of my design was that I wanted to make sure that I would be able to incorporate my outdoor activities indoor year-round. So I spend a lot of time hammocking in the trees when I can, so it was just natural for me to incorporate being able to hang my hammock into my loft, in between the loft spaces. So I just simply hook onto these hooks that are at each end of my loft. And we're in. Another aspect of my design that I took into consideration in advance and planned for was the ability to hang my yoga trapeze from the ceiling. So reinforce the rafters during the build process, during the framing process, in order to accommodate for all the weight. And then we just hook these in. So this is great because I use this for myself, just for different stretches. But to be honest, it gets a lot more use out of my daughter. It's like her own personal indoor gymnasium. So she spends a lot of time swinging around like a little monkey from this. So these are the handles. And then this is the actual trapeze portion that just hooks on, normally all the way up. But just for the sake of demoing, I'm just going to hang them here. So this allows me to sit here and I can do different stretches. And then primarily I use it for hanging upside down to get traction in my back, since I have a lot of lower back pain. So this has helped a lot and was something that I definitely looked forward to quite a bit, being able to utilize daily when I knew I'd have the house done. Thanks for checking out the Willow Tree. If you want to follow along more with my journey, you can check me out at twogirlsinatiny.com, on Instagram, 2girlsinatiny, Facebook, 2girlsinatiny. And if you want to follow along with any further builds with Midwest Tiny Living, you can check out their website, MidwestTinyLiving.com, as well as their very active Instagram, Midwest Tiny Living. Thanks again, and we wish you the best of luck on your tiny journey.